Have you ever been in what seems like a simple disagreement, but all of a sudden it feels like a personal attack? It happens to all of us. Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful framework for unhooking from that whole defensive cycle. Let's get right into it.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You're talking about politics or maybe something totally trivial like a movie, and suddenly the temperature in the room changes. It feels like this high-stakes battle. So what is really going on there? Why does that happen? Well, what the sources tell us is that the core issue, it's not just about having strong opinions. It's actually something way deeper. It's this dangerous merger, this fusion, where our beliefs and our very sense of self become tangled up and, well, basically indistinguishable.
And that leads us right into our first big idea here, what we can call the identity opinion trap. This is really the root of why even a small disagreement can feel so incredibly threatening.
So the psychological term for this is identity fusion. And what that really means is when we're stuck in this state, a challenge to one of our beliefs feels like a direct attack on us, on our very existence. And this fusion, it's what fuels this judgment addiction loop. It's like we use judgment to get this quick, temporary high of feeling right, but it just keeps us trapped in conflict. Okay, so the big question is, how do we break free from this trap? Well, interestingly, the process doesn't start in our minds. It actually starts in our bodies. It all begins with learning how to calm our nervous system.
And this brings us to our first action, self-regulation. I want you to think of that knee-jerk judgment as a reflex, right? It's like this quick hit of relief for a nervous system that's feeling anxious. Self-regulation, then, is the skill of creating that crucial pause, that little bit of space between the trigger and your automatic reaction.
And you can really see the powerful shift this creates when you compare the two. An unregulated system, it just demands control. It craves certainty and reacts on total autopilot. But a regulated system, it creates the space to choose curiosity, to embody presence, and to act with real awareness.
So this is what we're actually training our nervous system to do. We're building its capacity to just sit with discomfort, to learn how to tolerate ambiguity, to tolerate difference, disagreement, even vulnerability and not knowing, to be okay with a pause instead of rushing to judgment for that false sense of relief.
All right, so once our system is calm enough that we can actually think clearly, then we can move on to the next crucial step, which is questioning the belief itself.
This step is called self-inquiry, and the shift in mindset here is absolutely critical. You're no longer defending your own existence. Instead, you're investigating reality. Let me say that again. You're shifting from defending to investigating. The goal isn't to beat yourself up. It's to create some psychological breathing room, some flexibility. And this quote just gets to the heart of it so perfectly. Strong beliefs are not the problem. Fragile identities are. See, this whole process isn't about telling you to abandon your convictions. Not at all. It's about building an identity that's strong enough, that's resilient enough, to handle having a belief questioned without shattering.
So how do you actually do this? Well, it's done through 4 really powerful, targeted questions. Take this one, for example. What am I afraid would happen if I were wrong? Whoa, that question gets right to the heart of that identity fusion we talked about. It's all about injecting a little bit of curiosity where there used to be just rock-solid certainty. Now, this next quote, it really captures the goal of all this inner work and shows how it applies to our interactions with other people. I can witness your reality without needing to control it, erase it, or merge with it. Wow, that right there, that sets the stage for a whole new way of engaging with the world.
And this brings us beautifully to the interpersonal practice that actually grows out of all this inner work, the art of witnessing.
This is a practice that takes place in what's called neutral space. And what that means is it's a disciplined, conscious refusal to fall into that binary, us versus them trap. It's an active choice to let different realities coexist without feeling like one has to destroy the other to survive.
And this really highlights 2 fundamentally different ways to approach things. You've got the path of dominance, which is all about seeking control and demanding that people fall in line. But then you have the path of dignity. That's the path of neutral space, which practices curiosity and truly honors the autonomy of everyone involved. Okay, so how does all of this come together in the real world? Well, the final step is all about taking these internal changes we've been working on and actually expressing them through our actions. And this is the final piece of the puzzle, self-alignment.
This is where all that inner work becomes visible to the outside world. It's the practice of truly embodying the values you say you hold, making them real through your actual behavior.
And just look at this stark contrast. It reveals the very foundations of each path. Judgment, to survive, really relies on hypocrisy and this constant, desperate search for external validation. But alignment, that's built on a foundation of integrity, acting from a solid core of internal values. And that's why integrity becomes absolutely non-negotiable.
So what does this actually look like in practice? It's incredibly straightforward on paper, but wow, is it profoundly challenging in real life? It boils down to this. If you demand respect from others, you have to be the one to extend it first. If you demand humanity, you must allow others to be fully human, flaws and all. Ultimately, you have to model the very behavior you want to see in the world.
So what's the ultimate payoff for doing all of this difficult inner work? It's huge. It's about restoring these fundamental human capacities that just get completely eroded by our addiction to judgment. You see, when we successfully move through these steps, we actually reclaim 3 vital abilities, 3 core capacities that allow us to navigate this incredibly complex world with so much more wisdom and grace.
And here they are. First, discernment. The ability to see nuance, to see the shades of gray instead of demanding that everything be black and white. Second, empathy. The capacity to feel with others without feeling that need to fix them or convert them. And third, integrity. That beautiful coherence between your words, your actions, and your values. This is the powerful, powerful outcome of unhooking from judgment.
So we're going to end with this final question. Think of it as both a provocation and an invitation. What could you discover by investigating reality instead of constantly defending your existence? Shifting from that defensive crouch to a posture of genuine curiosity, it just opens up a whole new world of possibilities. You have to wonder, what might be waiting there for you?